Now turn up.
What up, is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads? If you're new to the channel, we are getting close. I think we're at 920, so this is be 80 away, and we get Jerry Jeudy free signed jersey. One of you guys will get it. We have the wheel of winning right there. We have 3 of the 5 people. We'll probably put the 4th person at 950, and maybe like the 5th person at probably 1,000, and then we'll just spin that thing away because I can't put it any sooner because then, of course, it wouldn't make sense because we have to have 1,000 people. These are Dynasty trades, and these are my first kind of reactions to it, so you have an idea. I haven't thought about these. I haven't gone in-depth, but it's nice when you get a trade offer, and you get to kind of see the process, the mental, thinking of what happens if you have a specific trade offer to you. So we're going to go through the first one here. It says, which would you rather have in Dynasty? 12-team league. I'm assuming... Oh, it says 1 QB. I was going to say, I'm assuming, I was going to assume Superflex. But 1 QB, we have pick 105 this year and T. Higgins. So this is kind of not an easier trade, but it depends on where you're at. Because T. Higgins, if you are a contending team, I'm taking T. Higgins in a contending team. But if you need that high upside, if I'm rebuilding, I am still taking 105 because that likely, and if you need a running back or a tight end or something along those lines, because the first 5 picks will probably be Jamar Chase, and then you'll have the three running backs and Pitts. Actually, so in most cases, see, now you get to think of my thinking. Okay, I'm just going to take 105 no matter what because I love T. Higgins, but I either get one of the 3 running backs, Kyle Pitts, or I get Jamar Chase. And I would rather have that. I would rather have Jamar Chase, who I think is going to be the wide receiver 1 compared to T. Higgins. I think that even if T. Higgins slightly outperforms Jamar Chase this year, Jamar Chase over a long period of time will outdo that. All right, so let's look at the next trade. We should talk about these 2 players because this is actually a perfect kind of segue. Rodgers for Watson. Rodgers, who if you watched a couple days ago, I put a video out saying I thought Rodgers was going to be a Packer in 2021. I do think he will be now it's like instead of a 40-50% chance, I think it's going to be like a 99% chance because pretty much Rodgers said he was. Now Watson, what are his chances of A, playing or B, being a Texan? And I think being a Texan, of course, that's the better case scenario, but still, like, the Texans are not a great team. This is super tough. If you are in rebuild, I'm taking Watson. If you're a contending team, I'm taking Rodgers. And the reason for it simply is, if I'm a contending team, I don't have the risk of having Rodgers not play this 2021 season, which previously, maybe 2 days ago or a day ago, you would have had that risk. So Rodgers, do I think he's going to play? Yes. I think he's going to play this year as a Packer, and then next year I think it could change. He could be on a different team. Watson, though, I think there's a big chance that he does not play, gets suspended, gets put on commissioner exempt list. I don't know exactly how the commissioner exempt list works, but players have been on it before, such as Antonio Brown and such, and Josh Gordon. So it could be a chance that he just does not play until this legal stuff finds out. Or he could get traded and still get legal issues, just the legal issues over his head. I would rather have Rodgers if I'm a contending team. If I'm rebuilding, I'm just going to take Watson because then I know that if he's gone for the entire year, I'm fine because I'm okay with losing. All right, next one. Let's look at it. Who would I rather have in a startup, Akers or Darrell Henderson? This one's Akers to me. I still like Akers over Henderson, but you have to understand that Akers could never be he might not be the same. And again, this is all about draft. It's all about what your team looks like. If you again need somebody, when you're a team, are you looking 2-3 years out? If you're looking 2-3 years out, Akers is perfect. If you need a player now, like 2021 now, Henderson's not a bad option. And I'm just saying that simply. All right, Superflex, Zach Wilson or CEH. This is why when you make a good trade, these are all good trades. These are all good questions because you as an owner want to make a trade, and this is for every owner. You want to make a trade that makes sense to the other owner. If you make a trade that doesn't make sense to the other owner, then they're not going to accept the trade, more than likely. So, like, Zach Wilson is perfect in a Superflex league. He's really good in the Superflex league, but so is CEH. And so I would lean Zach Wilson in a majority of cases. But again, if you already have 2 quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, let's say you have a Matt Ryan, a Tom Brady, because you have that, and let's say you have a top quarterback in Dak Prescott. You have those 3 quarterbacks. You don't need Zach Wilson, right? If you have Zach Wilson, that'd be a great trade to get a CEH if you need that running back. And you might even be able to get CH plus something if that team's really quarterback needy. On the other case, if you're a team that is really desperate and needs that second quarterback or even a third quarterback, then acquiring Zach Wilson and giving up CEH is a good trade for you. So that is a really good trade both ways, just depending on what your roster construction is. And I know that's kind of a copped way out, but really, that's a really good trade. You want to like, trade's easier. The next one, Zach Wilson or Tua. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson just because of higher upside. I don't think Tua can be a top 5 quarterback in this league. I think Zach Wilson has a chance of being he could be like an Aaron Rodgers light. He could be like a Josh Allen light. And so he could be a quarterback 5 in 2, 3, 4 years. I don't think Tua will. And that's just because I don't think Tua's mobility is enough. And his arm is really good at times, but, I mean... So, this is an interesting... this is Superflex. Superflex. Picks will be late, they say. So, but it's hard to... You can say that they'll be late, but... You never know. You never know. It could be early, could be late, but you can try to guess. Dylan and 2 firsts, or J.K. Dobbins and a third. I love J.K. Dobbins. I'm a huge J.K. Dobbins fan. This, again, is a classic, are you rebuilding or are you contending? Because if you're contending, this is a great fill piece if you need a RB2 or even a guy that could potentially be an RB1 next year. I don't think Dylan has that ability unless Aaron Jones gets hurt. But on the other hand, if you have J.K. Dobbins and you are looking to get some picks here, 221 first is a good value. So this is a very good value for J.K. Dobbins, plus you're getting A.J. Dillon. So, again, this is, by the way, this is going to be part 1. We're going to do a part 2 as well. Who would I rather have in Dynasty? Doesn't matter what kind of league settings. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, this is going to be an easy one. Josh Allen, of course. Josh Allen. I don't want Kyler Murray. Josh Allen has much more safety for long-term fantasy production. Even when Josh Allen wasn't doing amazing at passing like he did last year, his 2019, 2018 years, his rushing floor, plus he has the better passing abilities, in my opinion. I've got to go with Josh Allen. Who'd you rather have in a super flex tight end premium? Kelsey or Hawkinson plus a late 23rd first? This is where you can't really say late 23rd first, because you could say 2-3 years ago, maybe that owner had Gurley and Bell and Melvin Gordon and stuff, and then all of a sudden their team falls apart. Sometimes I've actually targeted and rebuild those teams that look like they're going to be good, but they're a couple 26, 27-year-old running backs. Like this year would be guys like Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones. If there's a team that had that, I'd be like, hey, like one of those players goes down, or they just don't they don't have the ability if they do last year and the previous year, then that first could go from a late first to like a mid first or even an early first. I had it where I think a team had Gurley, James Conner. They had a couple other players, and they looked like a playoff team. They looked like they were easily going to be a top 3-4 playoff team. They ended up being the 3rd worst team. They ended up getting the 103 out of the deal, and that's how I acquired J.K. Dobbins. That's a long story short, right? But Kelsey, Hawkinson, late 23rd first. This doesn't matter what kind of first it is. I would rather have Hawkinson over Kelsey in a dynasty. I'm going to say even in contending mode, because honestly, the value is just too much there for I understand Kelsey is a difference maker, but there's a chance that the Kelsey-Hawkinson gap is not crazy as far as it was in 2020 and 2019. And that 23 first is a good first, no matter what. So I am taking Hawkinson in the first easily over Kelsey in any situation. That's where if I'm Kelsey owner, I am loving this trade, and I am looking for this trade, and I am doubting that this trade actually occurs. But I shouldn't say I doubt it. I've actually seen this trade pretty close to it. I've seen a Hawkinson and like a 22 late first for Kelsey and like a 2 seconds. I've seen something like that, but this is pretty dramatic where I think Hawkinson and the 23 first is easily better. All right, so again, we're going to do part 2 here tomorrow, so then I don't overwhelm you through trades, but we're going to get some more trades kind of thrown out there to get some ideas and get some mental, just keep the brain working so for that Dynasty football, all right? So remember, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Let's get to 1,000. Take care. Now turn